I started with the closing bars of the Rachmaninoff Second Piano Concerto, and then went into a little medley of sci-fi movie themes, and then went into a rocky version of Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, or at least the toccata, and it was rocky, as you heard, right at the very beginning. It happens to the best of us, trust me. We normally do it with the band playing all the beginning piece, but because we got the organ here, I thought, great, we'll do the first part on the organ, how it's meant to be written. But it's sort of left a bit of discrepancy as to where the other guys came in. So anyway, it just goes to prove that even musicians are human. Just out of interest, how many people here are actually members of community church? There's quite a few that are here, yes. Absolutely. Well, for those of you who are not, just to tell you a little bit about myself, you can probably tell by my accent that I'm actually not from this part of the world. Yeah, you guessed it, I come from Cuba. No, I don't come from Cuba. I come from that little known island on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean called, what's it called again? Britain, UK, United Kingdom. I've almost erased it from my memory. And I've been fortunate in that I've been music director and organist at this charming church for 5 years now, and for 5 solid years, members of the congregation have said to me, when are you going to do a recital? Well, I finally ran out of excuses, so I'm afraid you've got me for the first half of this evening now. You know, I grew up in a little town in the UK, a little city actually, called Worcester. Very famous for Worcester sauce, Worcestershire sauce. You all heard about that, and Worcester Royal Porcelain. And it's also famous for being the place in the UK where you're most likely to have your car stolen from. So the moral of the tale is, if you go to Worcester, don't take the car. Anyway, I grew up in just a very sort of normal family, but they weren't terribly wealthy, and they recognised from a very early age that I was very musically inclined, and they decided to put me to piano lessons. This wasn't easy for them. They were not well off, music lessons were expensive, and consequently we as a family had to make a lot of sacrifices. Just for an example, we would very often have to buy our clothes from the Army and Navy surplus store. I can tell you it's no fun going to school dressed as a Japanese admiral. But the one thing there was no shortage of back in my home was music. And my parents had a great big pile of old 78s. Do you remember those? The old 78s? It's great so easily. Each side only lasted about 3 minutes. And I used to wade through these old records, playing them as a kid. I used to love them. And I really just started piano lessons, and I came across one particular record, which was of a black lady pianist playing ragtime piano. And this piece was called Black and White Rag, and I fell in love with it. And I just dreamed of the day that I would be able to play this piece of music. So what I did was I would play this record over and over and over again, and each time I would pick out just a few of the notes, and gradually, over a period of what seemed like an eternity, I was able to piece the piece together and play it. And eventually the day came when I was able to walk into the room where my parents were sitting, and I sat down at the piano, and I played this piece of music, note perfect, from start to finish. And I felt so proud. My parents, they too, you can imagine, they were so proud. And I remember the day so well because it coincided with my 40th birthday. So, after 33 years of academic study at the piano, I'm going to play that piece for you right now, so I hope you enjoy it. Actually, I sincerely hope you enjoy it, because I'm going to play it anyway. Okay, you ready, guys? See you at the end. Memory from Cats by Sir, was it Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber? I was very fortunate and I got to record that number one time with Shirley Bassey singing it. Unless we recorded an album called Shirley Bassey sings the songs of Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's still in the stores, so go and listen to it, go buy it, kind of listen. I need the money from the royalties. When I was a kid, I used to practice for hours and hours and hours on end, thundering away at the music of the great masters. Bach, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, Barry Manilow. And the neighbours used to love to listen to me. So much so that very often they would come round to my house and smash the windows so they could hear me. And one day we had there's one lady who lived a couple of doors away from us called Mrs. Palmer, and she was a real ogre. I mean, the only time we ever saw her was when she used to shout at us or tell us off for running past her house too often. I mean, she was an awful lady. And it was a rare British summer's day that she decided to go and sit out in the garden to get a little bit of sun. And of course the house was hot, we didn't have air conditioning in the UK. So we had all the windows open and I was pounding away on the piano. And she had enough after about 4 hours, she'd had enough. And she came around to the house and she thumped furiously on the back door. And my father answered and she screamed at him, "Mr. Hinton," she said, "stop that son of yours playing the piano now and get him right here." So my father dutifully did as he was told, and nobody argued with Mrs. Palmer. She said, you come with me now." And she took me around to her house. I went around nervous. Oh man, this woman, she took me into her home and she picked out an album, a record, and she held it close to her chest. And she stood there, and it was then she smiled. She smiled for the very, very first time. And it was only then that I realised that she had no teeth. And she said to me, "This is the man who you have to play like." And she turned this album round, and there on the front was a picture of this man with an enormous hairstyle, covered in a glittered jacket, with candelabras everywhere. And I got a feeling you know who I'm talking about. Of course, none other than the late, great Liberace, who was, of course, not only a great showman, but a tremendous pianist as well. Isn't it incredible to realise that it was actually 14 years ago that he passed away? It doesn't seem possible, yeah, it was 1987 he died. I was stunned when I found that out the other day. But anyway, she played me some tracks off this record, and I was so taken with these recordings. He took basic simple tunes and did incredible arrangements of them. Stunning arrangements. He made the simplest melody, simplest popular melody sound incredible with his arrangements, his dazzling technique. And of course I wanted to copy what he did. I didn't want to copy the jackets and the rings. Not quite my style. But I did want to copy some of the stuff. So I started taking down some of the arrangements that he did, one of which I'd like to play for you now. And this needs absolutely no introduction whatsoever. Chopsticks, Liberati style, minus the glitter. Do you know, all the years that I lived in the UK, I lived and worked there, I was educated there, sort of. Lived, worked, grew up. I was never consciously aware of knowing anybody who was Jewish. I knew nothing about the Jewish culture, nothing about the Jewish faith, nothing about the Jewish people, other than what most of us know from footage of the horrors of the Holocaust and things back in the Second World War. Then I came to live in Florida. And things changed dramatically. Now, in contrast to that, my dear good friend, Kenny, over here on the drums, now he grew up in a predominantly Jewish community. In fact, he was actually probably the only single Gentile in his particular community. And so he got a real good dose of what the Jewish thing is all about. But of course he ended up feeling very out of things because he wasn't Jewish. He was the oddball. He tried desperately hard to be accepted by the Jewish boys of his own age. And in an attempt, one of the things he noticed that the Jewish boys had that he didn't have, the thing that he didn't have that they had was one of those Yamahas on their head. So he's a very innovative sort of guy. So what he decided to do, he thought if he could wear a Yamaha, he would be accepted by all the other Jewish kids in the neighborhood. So being the inventive sort of guy that he is, he stole one of his mother's brassieres. And he cut it in half. And put it on his head and went out with all the guys. And he thought he was the coolest kid on the block. He was the only kid in the neighborhood wearing a yarmulke with a chin strap. I'm going to have to tell I'm only lying, aren't I? No, but seriously, my first real introduction to anything Jewish before I came here was I got to make a recording with the late great Anthony Newley, where he, who was not Jewish of course, played the part of Teviot in a remake that we did of Fiddler on the Roof, or to give it its original Yiddish title, Der Meises von Teviot der Milchiker, and which basically means the Tales of Teviot, the dairyman. Until that time, as I said, I didn't know anything Jewish, but what struck me was the beauty of the music and Fiddler on the Roof, which I think most of you are familiar with. Just gorgeous, gorgeous music. And the music got to me right from the very, very beginning. As Tony Newley began his opening speech, and the music began to play. And Tony Newley began his speech, and he said, "A fiddler on the roof. Sounds crazy, though. But here in our little village of Anatetka, you might say every one of us is a fiddler on the roof, trying to scratch out a pleasant cymbal tune without breaking his neck. It isn't easy. You may ask, why do we stay up here if it's so bad? We stay because Anatetka is our home. How do we keep our balance? That I can tell you in a word. Tradition." And then followed a plethora of some of the most incredible, beautiful melodies I think I've ever heard, some of which I'll play for you right now. Very exciting. Well, there's one other composer, to me, who I think he's got. Before I get into that, because I'm going to finish now, because you've got a wonderful act coming on, a very, very dear friend of mine. Before I go, there's a few people I'd like to thank, not least the musicians. Thanks. Mike on trombone, Mike on trumpet, Aaron on sax, Kenny on drums, Jim on bass guitar, my wife John on keyboard. Thank you guys, and not to forget the unseen people, particularly I mentioned Bob Temple, who's controlling all the lights and the sound and everything else. Without him we wouldn't have the show. So, people often ask me after one of my shows if I have CDs for sale at the back afterwards. I'm afraid I don't, but I do have a very nice range of homemade preserves and muffins. You know, one of my favourite composers is a gentleman back from the 1920s who, to my mind, he transcended the gap between popular music and classical music. And around that time, there were a lot of great composers, Jerome Kern, Irving Berlin, Cole Porter's name, but just a few. But the one to me who always stands head and shoulders above all the rest of them is George Gershwin. So, I thought I would finish my session tonight with a medley of some of my favourite compositions by George Gershwin. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. That's really great.
Stop your hands and clap.